What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Down South Up North. Hope you guys are having a good Wednesday. Got an awesome show for y'all today. We got Athletic Alert, College World Series, even though this happened Monday, but we need to show some love to college baseball. So we got that for y'all on the Athletic Alert. Got our sports stories of the day, and obviously we're gonna end it off with some video game talk. Matt, how we doing?
It's good. As you can see, I'm in a little bit of different environment today.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
but on the road for the show. But Kyle, grind don't stop.
Yes, sir. All right, let's get straight into the Athletic Alert. All Rocky Top, baby. Tennessee has won its first College World Series title. Monday night, the Bulls down Texas A&M 66-5 in Game 3. So for y'all that don't know, when you go to Omaha for the College World Series, you play best of three. So first one to two wins. Vols are in some trouble. They lose game one, they bounce back game two, win game three Monday night. And this made Tennessee the first 60-win team in the SEC history. I follow college baseball a good bit, and for the past couple of years, dude, Tennessee has been very, very good, but it's hard to get to Omaha. You got to win in the regionals, then you got to win the super regionals, then you finally go to Omaha, and now you have to play all those really good teams that just won their divisions. So Tennessee got it done, dude. A veteran pitcher, Xander Seacrest. Sorry if I butchered that. Dude, he got the rock game three and he set the tone early. Put down three Aggies, top of the order, and then Christian Moore, who's an absolute stud, second baseman for the Vols, comes out, hits a bomb, and then from that point on, it was all Vols. So they got it done, dude. They had their bats were hot that game. I forgot he played center field, but he had a crazy slide. One of Tennessee's players hit a ball off the wall. He's rounding second. The Aggies have a great relay. As he's rounding third, second baseman catches it, throws a laser home, and the catcher kind of like turns around to get the tag, but the runner like angled his body in a super weird way and dodged the tag and slid into home, and that led the Vols to take game three and win a World Series. So good for them, man. Well deserved.
Yeah, old Tennessee. I'm glad. I'm surprised you said the first SEC team to do so.
First SEC team to get 60 wins.
Oh, okay. Well, that's still impressive as itself. But
Yeah, very very
Kyle, the
impressive.
stat that caught my attention was they're the first number one national team in the seeding, like in the pool of Omaha, which is what 16 when
Yes.
they go to Omaha. First number one seed to win since Miami did it in 1999. So
Really?
yeah, so you're telling me since 25 years, yeah, right here. Uh, by the way, they also lost game one, so they won two straight. That's also very difficult to do on the biggest stage. Volunteers bounced back from a game one loss to win two straight and become the first number one national seed in the NCAA tournament to win the title since Miami in '99. That's an article by ESPN. But I mean, that's very impressive. But it's also shocking. It's like, all right, 25 years, a quarter of a century goes by in the number one seed. But hey, that's why we love sports. It makes it interesting to watch because the number one seed is never favored. Think of other sports. You look at football, you look at basketball, even in pro sports, right? The number one seed is usually favored. It's usually Alabama or Georgia in college football. Uh,
Yeah.
the NBA is kind of all over the place, but with football, right? The Chiefs are usually a top seed. The 49ers are usually top seed. And those teams make the championship game more times than not. Whereas college baseball, I don't have the history of the teams. Maybe the number one seed hasn't made it to the final series or the championship series multiple times, but just never come up on top. But I think it's great. College baseball, always a good time. It gives us something to talk about here in late June because we are getting to the dog days of sports. But interesting, very competitive, and good for Tennessee. First in school history, and dude, that's you want to talk about an everything school? They're starting to become an everything school.
Yeah, they are. They still got some work to do in football, but now everything else, dude, they are pretty good. Tony Vitello, I actually really like him as a head coach. There's a really good clip that came out. He was like, "Hey, the reason why we're so successful as a baseball team is I have all those guys on the roster that are excited to go to work. They're excited to go out there and compete and make themselves better and make their teammates better and compete and win ball games." So being a baseball player, that just makes you want to run through a wall for that guy. And so I'm happy Tony Vitello won. Shout out Tennessee, man. You got the job done. This makes, dude, five straight. I'm looking at the past winners. For 5 years in a row, it has been straight SEC teams that have came up on top in Omaha. 2019, it was Vanderbilt. 2020 was actually canceled due to COVID. 2021 was Mississippi State. Next year was Ole Miss, LSU, then Tennessee. So SEC really runs everything at this point, which is kind of crazy.
However, Kyle, Tennessee has finally gotten over the hump this year. 2021,
yes,
they got pretty far. The following year, they were the number one seed and lost at home in a 3-game super regional, right? So like they've been here, they've been in Omaha multiple times, but it's rewarding when you finally get over that hump and come out on top. And for a second there, it was scary, right? When you're down 0-1, because Game 3 in college baseball is like Game 7 in hockey or basketball or
yeah,
baseball. Game 3, if you lose, you go home. Especially, it's a very, very tough test. I think I like the 3-game series, but for the World Series, Volunteers, good shit.
got it done, baby. All right, let's get into our sports stories of the day. Matt, lead us off. What you got for me?
Kyle, I never miss, dude, but today I may or may not be getting on your nerves, all right? I'm just going to put that forewarning out there.
Okay.
Going back to some of the worst trades in NFL history. I feel like we've been talking about a lot of other sports. We got to shine some light on the NFL. But you may not be happy that your team,
Oh, no.
your Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, no.
Hey. So I just want to point this out. You were pretty pissed at Michael Penix, right?
Yeah, I was pretty upset.
Took him very early in the draft. But you haven't seen. I mean, we had a small sample size last year when he was at Washington to see him play, but the quarterback they drafted before him was Michael Vick. But let's go back even further. The year is 1991, and the Atlanta Falcons are on the clock in the second round with the 33rd overall pick. Do you want to take a guess at which quarterback they went with? Just off the top of your dome, think early 90s quarterbacks.
I know who this is because I know a Hall of Fame quarterback actually got drafted by us, and he went by the name of Brett Favre.
Ding, ding. Brett Favre to the Atlanta Falcons with the 33rd overall pick.
We never gave him a chance, dude. Never gave him a chance.
It was your head coach.
Uh-huh.
It was your head coach.
They didn't believe in him.
Jerry Glanville disapproved, heavily, dude. He was very anti-Brett Favre. And, dude, I played there one season, and he only attempted 4 passes. That's how much your coach did not like this guy. Now, look, I don't know if it was off the tape or if he had something personally against him. Whatever the situation was, that's probably behind closed doors. But that offseason, he was traded to the Green Bay Packers, as we all know, and went on to have a Hall of Fame career, be one of the greatest quarterbacks in league history. But
one of the greatest gunslingers of all time.
Absolutely. But to think that he was on the Falcons, and to make it worse, The Packers gave the Falcons the 19th pick. So I mean, that's a first-round pick. I mean, for a guy who only attempted 4 passes
But
all year.
what do we do with the pick? Who do we get?
Oh, you want to know?
Oh God.
You took a running back by the name of Tony Smith. Right?
Who the hell is Tony Smith?
Yeah. That's a very generic.
I thought you were gonna say we took work done, and I was like, hey,
No.
love work.
Well,
done.
that's why I said be prepared. Tony Smith, right? A generic, like that's like when I'm doing a my career or face of the franchise on Madden. And I'm like, all right, type in the name, and I'm like, well, I'm not taking Tony Smith. No offense to the guy, but he would only play 2 seasons with the Falcons, and then he was out of there. So obviously,
Nice, dude. Nice.
one team, Packers, get a Hall of Fame Super Bowl winning quarterback, and the other get Tony Smith, who lasted 2 years. Yeah. So your Falcons, man, like just remember that you guys could trade Penix at the end of the year for a bag of chips, but hey, I think the good news for y'all is look, I'm a big pattern history person. Like I think history repeats itself a lot. You went Brett Favre, you traded him, then you went Vic, you succeeded. Now you went Penix, this might fail, but the next quarterback you take in 10 years might work out for the Atlanta Falcons. Just saying.
It might, dude. God, the old Brett Favre story. Yeah, man. I know his rookie card with the Falcons, like signed, goes for a buttload of money. So, old Falcons, dude, you always mess up something somehow, some way.
But at least it's been going on long before we were both alive.
Yeah, that is true. Hey, dude, you don't miss with the stories, man. You don't miss. Even though I hated today's story, I absolutely hated it. So I'm gonna switch sports. I'm gonna go to baseball. We're gonna talk about the Jason Grimsley bat heist. I'm gonna give you some context here. Let's go all the way back. July 15th, 1994. The Chicago White Sox traveled to Jacobs Field to take on the Cleveland Indians in a heated battle for the top of the American League Central Division. What started as a typical division rivalry game would end up becoming one of the most eventful nights in the history of Major League Baseball. I'm also reading oddsportstories.com that did a great article. So prior to the game, White Sox manager Gene Lamont was given word that Indians power hitter Albert Bell was using a corked bat. At that, I mean, it's considered cheating if you're using a corked bat. Having a corked bat, if you don't know, it allows the bat to be lighter. It allows hitters to get their bat through the zone quicker. Actually, is not proven false, but at the time, it was made for like giving that extra oomph off the bat per se. So, prior to Bell, only 2 players in MLB history have been caught at this point. So, before the game, Lamont challenged Bell's bat to the umpires. So he went up to the umpires. He said, hey, go check a Bell's bat. I think it's cheating. So this led to the home plate umpires, Dave Phillips, confiscating the bat and locking it in the umpire's dressing room. And the Indians knew they would lose their star guy for 10 days because that was the punishment back in the day for using a corked bat. You get 10 days suspended. So they're like, shit, dude, we can't lose Albert. We need him. So during the 6th inning of the game, the Indians organization asked 5th-year starter Jason Grimsley to pull off a mission typically seen in either a Mission Impossible or Die Hard movie. The team knew there was a false ceiling above the umpire's dressing room which would allow someone to crawl through it and get in. Grimsley was given the assignment to crawl through the ceiling and replace Bell's bat with one that wasn't corked. Grimsley grabbed the bat of teammate Paul Sorrento, another one of Bell's bats couldn't been used since all of his bets were corked. Grimsley climbed through the ceiling and began his journey to the umpire's dressing room. Grimsley, mission accomplished. When he crawled out of the room, he replaced the bat, did the old switcheroo, went back up in the ceiling, but he did leave some evidence. There were some chunks of the ceiling that were on the ground, and when the game was over, the umpires walked in. They're like, dude, what is this? What the hell? Why was there like ceiling stuff on the ground? They looked and they see the ceiling was like a little off So they're like, all right, well, someone's obviously been in here. They thought it was a fan or something. So the authorities get alerted. They confirm the umpire suspicions. All this is going on, and then the commissioner of the league, Bud Selig, he gets word of it, and he goes, hey, if you do not turn over the bat, the original bat, I will get the FBI involved and do an actual investigation. So then Bell gets suspended. They fight it, and not court, but they fight it. He gets suspended 7 games, and that's it, dude. The great Jason Grimsley heist.
Wow. He almost got away with it.
He almost got away with it.
So if it wasn't for the umps, like, noticing that after the game, this would have never been a thing.
Yeah, dude. If Jason Grimsley never, I guess, created too much of a ruckus, climb through the ceiling, then he would have gotten away with it.
It's wild, man. It's
Wild. And it's called The Great Cleveland Indians Heist of 1994.
So 94, dude. What a year of sports.
I know, dude.
Like,
1994.
Is...
What a great year for sports.
Just see, look, is there a movie just based on sports in 1994?
I know there's a crazy documentary. I think,
but I think that's only of the day.
Yeah, we're
June
we're
something. I think we're coming up on the anniversary.
Because a bunch of things happened in that day.
June
Palmer.
17th. All right, so it just passed about a week ago.
What year though?
1994.
This happened 2 days prior.
And that was what, June 15th?
June 15th.
Okay, yeah. So there definitely needs to be a movie. All right. So
there definitely needs to be a movie on that one, like, that few day stretch in July.
3-day stretch.
Yeah, because Honor Palmer plays his last major. OJ goes on his infamous drive or his police chase.
I believe Ken Griffey Jr. tied Babe Ruth in home runs.
The finals were going on that day or something.
The U.S. hosted the World Cup for the first time. I mean, this is ridiculous, dude.
Wow, this is...
The Rangers were celebrating with the Lord Stanley's Cup. I mean, it was... Wow. I mean, a 3-day stretch of all that shit going on. That is... Wow.
This is very crazy. Crazy week for sports back in 1994. But Matt, you know what time it is, dude. Let's get into the gaming exchange. We are getting this closer to the release of College Football 25.
Less than a month.
Less than a month, dude. I can't wait. But EA Sports finally released a list of the toughest stadiums for this year's game, and it's gotten a bunch of backlash. They did a top 25. I'm not going to go through all 25. I say do top 5, top 10. What do you say?
Well, I'm looking at the list, and
it's a joke.
Yeah, no, it is.
It's a joke. So number 1.
Yeah, let's go top 10. Let's go
top 10. Okay, number 1, you have Kyle Field, Texas A&M. Number 2, Bryant-Denny Stadium, Alabama. 3, Tiger Stadium, LSU. 4, Ohio Stadium, Ohio State. 5, Sanford Stadium, Georgia. 6, Beaver Stadium, Penn State. 7, Camp Randall Stadium, Wisconsin. 8, Gaylord Family, Oklahoma Memorial Stadium, obviously Oklahoma. 9, Doak S. Campbell Stadium, Florida State. And then 10, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. So I'm looking at this article. The EA created this list based off a few things: home winning percentage, home game attendance, active home winning streaks, team prestige, and other factors. So when I look at that, this list is shit. This list is so bad. Texas A&M, yeah, I know it holds a lot of people, but home winning percentage, Texas A&M is trash. They're garbage.
Yeah.
They're terrible.
Like they are so middle of the pack SEC. It's not even funny.
That's what I'm saying. Did you lose to Appalachian State a few years ago? Like, what? and they were ranked in the top 10 that year, top 5, I think. No, they're definitely top 10. I don't know about top 5. I think they're like 7 or something. But still, dude, still, that's
I mean,
terrible.
look, I get the the home of the 12th man, but it's like, dude, Johnny Manziel's not playing here anymore.
I was about to say,
Like
if Johnny Football was playing there, then yeah, I would be like, oh, 100%, dude. That when Johnny Football was playing there every Saturday, packed house. But I can't even name the quarterback for Texas A&M
I mean,
right
bro,
now.
let's just look at the Jimbo Fisher era in Texas A&M, right? Gets there in 2018, 9-4. Decent, like, okay. Then he goes 8-5 in 19, 9-1 in 2020, but again, got to put an asterisk on that year. 8-4, decent in 21, but then 5-7 in 2022, and then they went 7-6 last year. Like, what about? They don't have a single season with 10 wins in the last. And look,
And,
since 2012, they don't have a season with more than 10 wins, and you're gonna put them as number one.
yeah, that's crazy,
and look,
dude.
Look, I understand that you have to put all these factors in consideration. But let's be honest, Kyle. Where's the hardest place to play? And do not even what just happened to them in the offseason. Where's the hardest play to play in college football over the last 2 decades?
I got it pretty close, but I'm gonna go Alabama.
Thank
dude.
you. Okay, yes.
Alabama, like
That's what I'm saying. Like if you go, if you're
what
rolling
you
down
count?
to Tuscaloosa on that bus or that train or that plane, whatever the case may be, you're scared out of your mind. I mean, that is where teams go to die. At Bryant-Denny Stadium.
yeah. And Texas, their win in Tuscaloosa last year is literally the reason why they made the college football playoff.
Right. I mean, when you win in Alabama, that's what puts you over the edge when the committee makes their decisions at the end of the year.
Not only do you beat Nick Saban, but you beat Nick Saban in Tuscaloosa.
Right.
So it's crazy, dude. So I think Bryant-Denny's gonna be number one. Home winning percentage. I think Bama had one of the longest home game winning streaks. I mean, hell, dude, both of us could count how many losses they have at home on our fingers. So,
right.
I gotta have Alabama number one personally. LSU, that place is always rocking when Alabama comes to play them, or that place is always rocking, dude. And I don't like Penn State being at 6.
No.
And I mean, there's the famous clip of Penn State, Michigan comes to town. It's a whiteout game, and the Michigan quarterback literally has to call a timeout because it's so loud, and they're going hard count. He can't hear. They're trying everything, dude, and he can't hear what's going on. And when that happens, they call a timeout. That crowd just erupts even more, and now it's even harder to play there. So Penn State 6. I don't like Wisconsin. What are we doing here? Joke. Oklahoma at 8. Oklahoma's kind of ass, anyways. Florida State 9. I mean, I get it. You kind of do the chop. So I mean, I get that. Florida at 10. Florida's terrible, dude. Billy Napier.
I mean, look, I get it. I know it's a swamp. It's got the name. It's got the history. But it's like, dude, like, are we in 2008?
It's not, but I think that's why EA made this list, because they're like, yo, you're going against Johnny Manziel at Kyle Field on a Saturday night game, SEC. Like, bro, it's not like that anymore. I mean, again, Florida, it is tough to play there because you're in Gainesville. You're in the swamp. It's humid. It's hot as shit. It's nasty. But I wouldn't put them 10.
But still, if you make that argument, I mean, dude. Cardell Jones, in like one of his first starts as a third-string quarterback for Ohio State, had the game of his life at Wisconsin.
That is true.
Like late in the season. Like this dude casually walked into Wisconsin's field on their home turf and said, "I'm gonna launch 8 touchdowns against your sorry-ass defense," and that's exactly what he did. And you're telling me they're at 7? I mean,
No, that's crazy.
Look, I don't want to go that far into the list, like it's 25, but look at number 17, Virginia Tech Lane Stadium. Are you kidding me? I mean,
funny,
look,
dude.
I have friends who go to Virginia Tech or have an association with that school, and they would probably agree with me that this is blasphemy.
Bro, they play on Thursday nights. That's how bad they are.
Yeah. And Kyle, look, you know, I'm a huge Ohio State fan, but I'll be the first to admit their schedule is not shit compared to the SEC every single year. I mean, you got Purdue, Indiana, Northwestern, just a bunch of these middle of the pack teams. I'd even throw Wisconsin there, and it's like, well, we all play the same teams.
What's so crazy to me is having Jordan Hare Stadium at 14. That is what blows my mind.
For Auburn?
Stadium,
Auburn?
yes, yeah, Auburn Stadium, one of the toughest places to play in the entire country, not only in the SEC. Or Georgia went there last season, and Georgia was losing all the way until late in the fourth, just because it holds a lot of people. They get loud. They wave their fucking white flags. They get crazy. You can't, or the quarterback can't hear. Got to do hard count. Got to do this. That can't hear. Death Valley, Clemson at 12. If this was 2017, 2016, I would get that. But
well, I like that. That's why I don't like. I need the criteria that they go off of, because it seems like they just pick names out of a hat for this list. I mean, honestly, dude, Virginia Tech, since 2011, they've had one 10-plus win season in 2016. And it's like, okay, other than that, you have been terrible. They've been terrible. Last year was their most wins since 2019 with 7. I mean, it's awful. And look, if you want to go off strictly performance, which that should, like, when you go somewhere, how good is the team? I don't care about the fans, dude. Like, it helps, but do the fans equate to wins? Not always. It's based on coaching and system.
It does play a big part, especially if you have an unexperienced quarterback. But if you have like a CJ Stroud, or you have like a Bryce Young, or you have one of those guys where, dude, they could roll into any stadium and they don't care.
Right.
They don't hear the noise. Like, that's why a lot of people dick ride the SEC, because, like, dude, Saturday you got to roll into Tuscaloosa. Saturday you got to roll into Athens, Georgia. Saturday you got to roll into Tiger Stadium, and you got to play 60 minutes of football with a bunch of obnoxious, drunk college fans throwing shit. I mean, if you go to Tennessee, they're gonna throw mustard at you. If you go to all these places, they're gonna get rowdy. But I just don't like this list, dude. I don't like it. Like, seriously, Virginia Tech, Utah at 18.
Utah's just
where's? I mean, I know UCLA is not that team anymore, but they play at one of the most iconic places or iconic venues of all time. The Rose Bowl, my favorite bowl game of all time, is they play there every Saturday. And that's not even the top 25. You have a Boise State at 24.
Dude. Like,
Boise State at 24. You have Iowa at 20. Iowa sucks ass.
Well, I mean they had a great defense this year, but I mean
that's it, dude.
Look,
that's
here's the thing, like, it makes no sense.
Utah over Texas, Virginia Tech over Texas. That's so crazy.
Hell, dude, it's a curse word to me to say the word Michigan, but to have them at 16 with the Big House.
Where's UCF?
Yeah, the Bounce House.
The Bounce House. I mean, again, they don't need to be in the top 10 or top 15, but if you have Boise State,
right?
If you have Michigan State,
I mean, how look, dude, like I said, I don't like Michigan, but you can't put them at 16 and Wisconsin at 7.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the Big House. It's one of the toughest places to play. They've given Ohio State problems for the last 3 years.
Oh
I mean,
gosh,
it's just it's EA doesn't do anything right.
dude. No, they don't,
And look,
dude.
if you've been watching the show, I mean, obviously that's kind of a given at this point. But
EA always messes something up, dude. They can never get it right, ever, ever. So, dude, we could literally go on about this list for hours, but I'm gonna cut it short here. Matt, good show, man. Tennessee gets it done, wins its first College World Series in program history. You don't miss with the stories, dude. Even though I hated this one a lot. I did not like it, but it was a good story.
hey, it's one of those forgotten moments in history that
Yeah,
it's
a lot of
important.
a lot of people forget that.
It's one of those what ifs.
For sure, a lot of people forget that Brett Favre played for the Atlanta Falcons, which, oh god, I can't even think about it. And then Jason Grimsley bat heist. Forgot about that story. It's been a long time since I heard about that one. And then we just finished off, obviously, video game talk,
For
toughest
a minute.
stadiums. But dude, how'd you feel? How'd you feel about today's show?
Oh, it was good. It kind of was a little slow to begin with, but we really ramped it up that last segment. We
Yeah, dude.
kind
We
of
did.
ranted for a little bit, but it's EA, dude. Like you said, we could be going on for another hour or two, just talking about how bad EA is.
For sure, man. For sure. So, guys, if you like today's video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Check out our social medias down in the description below. Hope you guys have a good Wednesday. We'll see you Friday. Peace.